What is up, everybody? We are back here. Yank This, episode 13. I said it last week. This one's going to be more positive, right? You know, we're coming off, the doubleheader, getting those 2 wins, winning game 1, looking to sweep tonight against Minnesota. Tommy, how are we feeling?
Feeling good. What's funny is you always tend to say a lot of things in the chat and you say it repeatedly until it actually happens, right?
Yeah.
Just like, here comes Peraza or Oswaldo Carrera's breaking out party. Like
Yankee moment, Yankee moment, yeah.
Yankee moment, yeah. So listen, I'm glad that one of the things you did say was right. Positive show. It's good, but not, let's keep it going, right? For more than just 4 games. I know it's a nice little win streak here. Getting back on the right track, extending the lead. I think it's at least 5.5, or it's 5, right?
It's 5 right now.
Okay, so no, it could have been disastrous. It could have been down to 2 if we win. That last game win in Tampa doesn't sound like a lot, but that would have got it down to 2 in the loss column. Okay, and that would have been real scary. It's still scary. It would have been scarier if it was down to 2 in the loss column. So I'm glad we're kicking off this show with a positive vibe, my brother. It's nice.
No, yeah. We needed that, after last week, we were kind of down in the dumps. It was just a rough time to watch the Yankees, but it looks like we're starting. We bounced back, at least in the last 4 or 5 games. The pitching has looked amazing, especially out of the bullpen with guys like Marinaccio, Weissert. Really look like he's coming into form as a pro.
His stuff is too good not to be, right? You think it'd be first
the
couple
nasty
games.
Slider and 2-seamer that he got. Like,
dude, think about it, bro. How old is Weissert?
I think he's 23, 24.
Okay,
I don't think he's up
but
there.
Now let's just put it in this perspective. Even if let's say he's 23, 24. Let's put it in this perspective. What were we doing at 23 and 24? I'm 38 years old.
I'm not even 22. Yeah, I'm not. I'm 21 right now.
Okay, there you go. You're like, that's my point. So like when you put it in that perspective, you're not even at that age, but like you're not in the pros of pitching on Yankee Stadium, right? Like I moved to Vegas when I was 23. I wasn't pitching for the Yankees in the biggest spot, in the biggest stadium and the most successful franchise in all of baseball. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to be nervous. Like, come on. So I expected to be a little bit of a rough start, and it did. And after that, dude, he settled down quite nicely. His stuff is really good, and it's just you can't have that good of stuff and not be good. It's just a matter of time before you figure it out, and now he looks really good.
Yeah, definitely playing. He's definitely pitching up to a playoff spot when it comes down to it. Loaizaga is another guy. He seems to be back as well from what we thought he was going to be, the closer.
Ray did say he thought he was cooked.
Ray did say he was cooked.
I think the exact phrase that Ray used was cooked. Ray, if you're watching, please comment, buddy, and confirm that you said he was cooked. I think that's what you said it was.
Yeah,
but you've been the guy arguing that we need arms for the whole season. So you've been right on that, my man. So I got to jeer at you a little bit, but you did say he was cooked. But he looks not cooked at all.
Yeah, he looks fantastic. Clay Holmes even looked great yesterday.
It's nice when guys are healthy, right? That's what matters, right? You can say what you want about Loaizaga. When he first came back to it, he clearly was not healthy.
Yeah,
Holmes came back to that little, or leading up to that stint on the DL, leading up to it, he was pitching really bad on that right before really bad week before he went on the IL. So I mean, you want to tie all that together, it makes sense. So let's see what happens when these guys are healthy and get the bullpen back. The pitching's been really good. It's still tough that we can't score runs, right? Like even last night, like IKS grand slam. Besides that, we didn't do much.
I mean, we still got 3 on the board. We won 7-1. We still got 3 on the board.
That lucky, unbelievable fucking bases loaded, clearing double by Aaron Hicks. Like if that didn't happen, I mean, the only thing was just two big plays like that. Like we're not consistently hitting base hits. Like everybody that got on last night took walks, which is not a bad thing. But
even in that first game,
great still.
Yeah, even in that first game, we had like the first 3 runs, we had like 4 hits.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm so more worried about this Yankees offense than I am about their pitching, to be honest with you. Serena looks good and feels good. He's coming. He'll be back. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I really, really do think that just
Ray's been all about arms. I've been all about health and offense.
No, I was about arms earlier on like Ray was. Not as much, probably more towards the offensive side. I thought we still had to be better, right? Honestly, than the defensive side and pitching wise. But now I'm all about getting guys healthy and bats. We need Rizzo back. We need LeMahieu back.
I was about to say, speaking of IL stints and pitching, we got Nestor Cortez back today, but DJ goes on the IL.
So that's my point, right? Yeah. We got a hit, man. I'm telling you, I'm more worried about the offense once again than I am this pitching staff.
Yeah, there was a stat that Yes threw up. I think it was game 1 where Judge was like he was hitting 340 and the rest of the team was hitting 200 since the All-Star break.
Yep, and this is what we answered the other day. There was I think the guy I know who it is. I think Doug put that post up about like if you took like 5 guys away from the team, what team would be worse? Like Goldie was on the list, Alvarez from Houston was on the list, Judge was on the list, Ohtani was on the list, and it's like if the answer was clearly Judge. You take Judge away from this lineup, dude, the almost 300 average, the 55 home runs, the 120 ribbies,
yeah.
Where would this team be?
They're definitely not in first place in the American League East with a 5-game.
Dude, they might be 10 games worse without Judge. Then this is the reason why, to me, I know we're getting off what we're talking about right now, but this is the reason why he's the clear-cut MVP. You take him off the team, dude, they don't have 86 wins, whatever it is. There's no way.
No, of course
no
not.
way.
And speaking of Judge, let's talk about I want your opinion. What do you consider Roger Maris's 61 the home run record?
I would have to say yeah, right? I would have to say yes. Me personally, but I'm also a Barry Bonds fan, man. So, I think the guy was a Hall of Famer minimum 2 different times in his career. Okay. Probably 3 different times if you break it up. That's how good he was. But yeah, man, I can't put him, above that, as a home run leader for the individual season. I just don't like it, man. I think it's BS. And I think
so in your opinion, Judge is chasing the Maris record, 61. Is the number to beat?
Listen, if you're not going to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame because of what he did, how can you let Barry Bonds be the home run leader for what he did? Yes or no? Is that kind of maybe a little bit different of a?
No. You're absolutely right.
Different, but it's very similar, right?
I hold the same thing. I do think Barry Bonds should be a Hall of Famer. The fact that he's
because he was a Hall of Famer, Chris, before he did anything.
The
guy was a 40-40 guy in Pittsburgh. The guy was unbelievable.
Same thing with Pete Rose. I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, but
listen, I'll tell you right now, this is way off topic, but Pete Rose, listen to me right now, everybody, whoever's watching, and you, Chris. The day Pete Rose dies, he's on that ballot for the next year of eligibility. I'm telling you, dude, they're not going to give that guy the satisfaction of making the Hall of Fame while he's alive. Because then once he makes it, he'll be like, you know how he'll pop off with the mouth. It's about time what kind of speech do you think he'll have? A regular thankful speech? No. They've been blackballing him from baseball ever since this all happened. So he would go off if he gets in while he's still alive. I'm telling you, he'll be on the first ballot once he's dead. Promise you.
No, I can see it happening.
I'm not the only one who feels that way. A lot of people feel that way.
Do you think Bonds will get the same treatment?
I don't know, man. I honestly think that Bonds might make the Hall because when he was in Pittsburgh, it was pretty evident that he wasn't on nothing, right? And you look at his numbers, dude, pre-taking steroids. Just look at his numbers, man. Can you bring them up real quick, dude, while we're talking?
I got you,
I know it's a Yankee show, but I just want other people to understand how good Bonds' numbers.
It's a Yankee show, but we talk about sports here. This is a sports podcast,
and we're talking, and it kind of ties into Judge because I'm going to show you that if you take Barry Bonds' steroid usage away, he doesn't hit 73, and then Judge hits 64, he could be recognized as the home run king. That's
so you want just his Pittsburgh numbers?
Yeah, just tell me total RBIs, doubles, home runs, his average.
Okay, so in Pittsburgh,
how many years?
He was a 300 hitter. He spent 7 years in Pittsburgh.
Okay, so 300 hitter. Go ahead.
300 hitter, averaged 92 RBIs.
Okay.
And even in his last year in Pittsburgh, he hit 34 home runs.
Now, how many times? Maybe 30-30 club, not 40-40. What was he? 30-30 a couple times? 30 steals, 30 homers?
He was 30-30, yeah. He never broke 40 in Pittsburgh. Oh, wait, am I lying? No, he never broke 40 in Pittsburgh. His high in Pittsburgh was 34, and he did it twice. Or 36. Okay. And then 34.
Yeah, so... But if you look at his numbers overall for 7 years, how amazing of a defender he was and player he was, he could be a Hall of Famer just through his Pittsburgh career.
Yeah, his OPS plus over 200. I think Judge is if I remember, Judge is the first person to have an over 200 OPS plus since Bonds.
Yeah. So my point is this: I think Barry Bonds was great before the steroids. So I think he'll get in the Hall of Fame. But the home run record for the individual season, I think if Judge breaks it at 63 or 62, I think that he should get the recognition, man. You want to blackball guys.
Similar to McGuire and Sosa, those guys don't really have.
Yeah, you want to blackball these guys, you know, and then, I don't know, that's how I feel. But also, I also feel that baseball, during the steroid era, baseball needed the home runs. They really did. They praised the home runs. And now you want to crucify guys who did steroids. So for me, you know, I'm kind of on the fence about it, you know. I think baseball really was dying in the mid-'90s when our home run chases and stuff was going on, and Barry Bonds and McGuire and Sosa kind of lit it all back on fire. That's what I think, you know.
No, for sure. And then, you know, you had A-Rod stepping onto the scene and then him going crazy in the early 2000s.
Yep. So I just think I think baseball needed that home run, those home run races. They embraced it, and then they want to crucify everybody for doing the steroids to get there. So I don't know. It's whatever, you know. But back to Judge, man. Back to Judge, right? We can go back to that next topic because I know it's on one of our lists. This guy is just unreal, man. I mean, he's got 55, dude. He needs 6 more to tie with 25 games left. What do you think the chances are, Chris, that he makes this out of a 1 to 10?
1 to 10, unless he goes into a crazy slump, I think it's 8.5 out of 10. He would need to go into a crazy slump or get hurt.
Because what I think if I saw it correctly on the other day, he was 2 home runs ahead of Maris, right? On his pace of 61, 55 to 53, I believe, right?
Yeah, but then he didn't hit one last night, so I guess he's 1 ahead of Maris now.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll see, man. I mean, listen, I would love for the guy to do it. It would be great, but all I really care about is somehow getting, like I said, man, we always discuss, was it bigger? Well, I mean, was it better or worse for us if Aaron Judge had an amazing year and we don't win, or if he had an okay year and we do win, right? Because honestly, like, I don't know what helps us more keeping him,
Judge
like him blowing up.
What, 7 years, $250 million?
I thought he turned down an 8-year deal with the Yankees.
Even then, he's probably played himself up to like $150 million more with the way he's played this year.
Yeah, but let's just say this is gonna be one of the best years in baseball history. So you really can't count on him doing that again. No offense, right? The guy's gonna hit 60 home runs, driving 130 RBIs. No,
that's not. Especially if he does move on, not playing at Yankee Stadium, which every other fan base is always talking about being a minor league ballpark.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much Judge does outside.
So that's what I'm saying. So, but even if the next 5 years you get 38 to 47 home runs every year with 95 to 110 RBIs, I mean, do you pay him the $30 million a year for 30 million a year, 35 million a year for 9 years? Give him $300 million. I don't know, man, but you can't pitch this team without him because they'd be really putrid.
Yeah, you can see at this point, this lineup is so bad that they're just intentionally walking him because they don't fear anybody else behind him.
And that's what guys used to intentionally walk Barry Bonds all the time. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, man. And I think it was the Yes broadcast again yesterday when they were like, during Roger Maris's record-breaking 61 home run season, he never got intentionally walked because behind him was Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, much better have the Mick behind you.
Yeah. So you couldn't put him on base, but I feel like the rest of the lineup they don't instill fear anymore. You know,
look at the lineup. You got Cabrera, Peraza, Marwin Gonzalez, IKF. Who's gonna scare you in that lineup? Trevino,
Judge Rizzo, and Stan at the beginning of the year. I think was a very scary trio to see back to back to back.
And right now you got 1 1/4 of those guys. Judge by himself, obviously. Then you got a quarter of a play between Rizzo and Stanton right now. I mean, Stanton twist his ankle or whatever he did in the batter's box, swinging at a pitch. Like, come on, man. This is the shit that used to bother us about you.
Especially because he's just coming off of an.
And we loved you. We loved you last year, Stanton.
We loved him for the last 18 months. You know, when he played great last year.
You're in amazing shape. You can't swing at the ball and hurt your ankle, or whatever he did. Yeah, I'm 238 pounds, bro. I don't hurt myself swinging at softball, and I swing like a maniac trying to hit a homer. And I'm 238 pounds, bro, of not muscle, okay?
Yeah, this guy's like 6'8", solid. You know, he's just a strong mother. He's strong.
This guy was carved out of a fucking stone and hurts himself swinging at a ball. Like, is this really life, man? Come on.
And it's not even a back thing, you know. Sometimes, you know, you could tweak your oblique, your back, you know, something. But to roll the ankle is just, it's just frustrating, especially coming off the Achilles injury.
Getting off topic, but the one call we got, we can't put that guy back at first base ever again.
Guzman, Ronald Guzman.
Bro. I rather seen that female that plays single A ball or whatever she does. She's an independent ball play. This kid's brutal.
No, yeah, you know, we had guys like Mike Ford and Greg Bird in the farm over the last couple of years, and they ended up leaving. So, but yeah, you asked me about it. What do you think the chances are that Judge does break the 61?
Me?
Yeah, out of 10.
Man, I ain't never gonna. I can't even want to say this, bro. I think it's a 10 out of 10.
You think it's a guarantee he hits what 7 more in the next 25 games?
Can I put a clause in this? Or is that not allowed?
Of course, barring injury.
Okay, not only barring injury, but barring them not intentionally walking him. Can I put that in there, or is that like too much of a stipulation?
No, because I think it's realistic. I think a lot of teams.
Put it this way: if Tampa Bay's playing him and Toronto's playing him, they both trying to get in for a wild card. They're not going to pitch the Judge. We play them a lot, don't we? Down the stretch.
Yeah, we got Tampa again this weekend, and we got Boston. They're not really in it though.
Yeah, so Boston doesn't matter. But if we're playing Toronto and Tampa and another team that's in a race, if they're down if they're up 4-1, 4-2, 4-3 in a game where there's an open base and there's a guy in second with 1 out, they're not pitching the Judge clearly. So listen, I think it's a 10 out of 10 if he everything goes normal, right? No injuries and he's getting pitched to. If he's getting intentionally walked, dude, that's gonna drop it down to like a 5. Because people don't want to lose games by giving up to him, especially when there's nobody behind him batting. Like ICAS batting cleanup tonight. That's pretty bad.
Oh, that's just disgusting. Yeah, about a half of our games remaining are against teams that probably won't make the playoffs. We got 6 against Boston, 2 against Pittsburgh, and 4 against Texas.
All right, so it's really divided down the middle, right? That's 12 games right there. So 12 of our 25 against teams that don't matter. The other 13 matter. So I see Judge breaking it as long as all is good. But like I said, that's 2 big stipulations. Injuries, he's been pretty healthy, knock on this curb. And, you know, hopefully he gets pitched to. So we'll see. But I think it's a given that it's going to happen because he's still in a really good groove. He homered in 4 straight up until last night.
Yeah. And I was really surprised that they had him DH for both games. I thought they were going to have him DH the first game and then.
Yeah, but I watched the presser after the game, and Boone said that he wanted to give him just 2 full games, not putting himself out in the field.
All right, but then do that. I would rather him do that in back-to-back days, not like in back-to-back in a doubleheader game. At that point, you know, have him field, you know, one of the games, and then give him the DH in the next game.
You want to know what though, bro? I really don't mind it. You want to know why, Chris? God forbid, dude, if he's out there on a doubleheader playing, even if let's say for some reason, odd reason, he put him out there for both games, which would be stupid, right? But God forbid he's going after a fly ball in the outfield, doing twist his ankle. He's out for 14 days. Like that would be detrimental to this team right now. So I don't mind the double DH. I know you want to see him out there, you know, but you know, I don't mind it being out there so much.
It's the thing, especially with the Benintendi injury and trading away Gallo, who was a negative bat, but he was still a great defender. He's still our best defender out there, although Waldo has shown that
very good, very, very good defensively. This kid,
for a middle infielder, he plays a hell of a right field.
He's got a very good. Well, you got to realize he has a shortstop arm, so we know that it's a strong arm, right? And the left side of the infield arm, so he has power, and then he's just translating it. He's translating it to the outfield, and he's just literally doing.
It's not even just the arm. Of course, he did. He's gunned down a couple of guys at the plate so far this year.
Yeah,
and Jeff is going to slander that because you know it's Yankees right field. Anybody can make that throw, but
I wouldn't say anybody. I mean, I think you can't be. I don't think you can be a schlub and make that play still. I mean, you gotta feel you gotta feel that cleanly, right? Running at you when he's fielding the ball. He's got to throw it, hit target, get there either on one hop or a straight throw. Listen, I'm not saying it's the greatest play in the world. He didn't throw the guy out from the fucking track, but listen, it's still a good play. It doesn't matter. I know if one of the Mets did that, whether it was Nimmo or Marte in right field, who has a really good arm, they would have been like, "Oh my god, amazing play!" So like cut the bullshit. Like, don't be a hater and just say it was a good play.
Yeah, that was a great throw.
Love you, Jeff.
Love Jeff. He made another play other than the throw. An inning later when he made the diving stop, the sliding catch, in extras that
Yeah.
saved the run. And then at end of game one, he ends up getting the bat in his hands with a clutch situation. What was it,
Yep.
second and third, 1 out, and he's able to knock him in to
Yeah.
win game one.
And a 1-2 count, which was good.
Yeah, down to his last strike. I said it before the at bat. I think I said it in the group chat. I was like, if I'm Boone, I'm telling him to just take every pitch and have Judge come up there with the bases loaded and nowhere to put him. Gotta pitch to him at that point. But yeah, Waldo comes through in game one. Guy who came through in game two, IKF.
Yeah.
We have never lost a game with IKF at third base. That's
Dude,
the key.
Dude, let me just say, I like IKF. Let me tell you what, when someone is more comfortable at a spot defensively, it helps, okay? Because look at Torres at second base, even though he's having a down year. Look at Giancarlo when he's a DH versus playing in right field. When Giancarlo's in right field, he plays better when he's playing defense. Torres is a better second baseman offensively at second than he is when he played short. And IKF is a better player when he plays at third and bats when he's playing third because he won a Gold Glove with Texas there. I think he rushes plays at short, and at third he kind of takes his time and just and makes a solid play. So I like him at third base as well. And honestly, Donaldson, like Ray said earlier, dude, Donaldson's almost useless at this point. I'll tell you right now, dude. Let me remember how we went through our playoff thing the last 2 weeks about who's starting at what position. Remember we did this for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right now, Donaldson's not getting any burn in the playoffs. IKF's playing third, and you might see one of those kids playing shortstop even in the playoffs.
I mean, at this point, do you try to do a Peraza and Cabrera middle infield and have Torres and Donaldson off the bench?
I don't think so right now because Torres is definitely playing second for us in the playoffs. So let's have him playing these last 25 games leading up to the playoffs, right? Because I think that Cabrera is going to make the roster over Marwin Gonzalez because now you can play Cabrera everywhere you can play Marwin, honestly. And we expect to have Rizzo back to first base. Marwin's only playing that because Rizzo's out. So I think Marwin Gonzalez loses his spot to Cabrera, and Cabrera starts at shortstop for us in the playoffs. Telling you, dude.
Where do you put DJ though?
Huh?
Where do you put DJ though?
Torres might be sitting down at second base.
I was gonna say, I think you gotta put DJ in there somewhere. Even
let's get DJ healthy too. This guy's like a little baby though. I mean, like, come on.
He's got that toe injury that he tried to play through. It's the same thing that happened last year where he had that injury that he tried to play through, and he just didn't look like himself. Didn't look like himself.
The Yankees have questions to answer for their playoff spots and who's going to start where and who's going to play where. Because if Stanton's out, which could easily happen before then you have spots open. You can even DH Judge one game and have those three guys in the outfield, right? So I mean, listen, it could be a lot can be done come playoff time. We got to see who's healthy and who makes the roster.
Yeah, with no Benintendi, I doubt we don't see Judge in the outfield.
Yeah, but you know what? Boone the other day didn't rule him out yet. He said he's not ruling him out.
It's not his throwing hand, which is good, but it is his bottom hand when it comes to his swing.
Yeah. So what's his face? They said how long you expect him to be out. He said, well, different guys heal differently than other guys do. He goes, we won't know until we're at that point. But don't write him off just yet. And I don't know what's up with Carpenter. I haven't heard nothing lately about him.
Yeah, but he's also not been ruled completely out from what I've heard.
Yeah, but have we heard anything about him? I haven't heard about him. No. I saw Zach Britton threw another inning the other night, right? With Severino, right?
Yeah, he did.
So
he got a couple
back, hopefully. So, like I said, man, we'll have to see what happens in the next couple of weeks with who's healthy in these next 25 games in 27 days. And we're probably gonna get a first round bye as long as you win the division. So, we got an extra week of rest, right? So you're talking about a good 3 weeks, 25, 35 days, a full month, of rest for our guys, which is gonna be helpful.
All right. Just to get back to Benintendi for a second. He had a broken hamate bone in his hand. Yeah. Wander Franco is dealing with the same injury right now, and he hasn't played since July 9th, and he's still looking at 2 to 4 weeks.
So Benintendi's over then.
He's probably done. I mean, I think
same injury?
Broken hamate in the hand.
Wow.
Same thing with Franco. But Benintendi, I think he's done for the year. When it comes to the postseason, I would like, at this point, Hicks, I still don't think is a lock to play. But at
No,
this
yeah,
point,
I
who are
don't
you
know.
gonna
We'll
who are you
see.
gonna put out there in left? With no
Unfortunately, bro,
Benintendi?
we might have to play Hicks by default.
Unless Andujar makes the roster, but even then, LaCastro.
Nah,
I don't know.
listen, Florial got no bat. LaCastro got no bat. Maybe you bring on LaCastro for like a speed guy, to maybe a defensive replacement, right? Let's say you actually start Stanton one game in the outfield. Let's just say, right? Let's just say you start Stanton in the right field and you put Torres at DH one night, right? Let's just say, right? You can always use LaCastro as like a speed guy. Let's say, I mean, it's a perfect scenario, Chris, but let's say it's, top of the ninth in a, at a big playoff spot there. It's 3-3 and, Stanton leads off with a double, right? Maybe a pinch run for him in that spot, right? He's playing right field. You put LaCastro in, tag him up, or, bunt him over or something, just to score runs in the playoffs. So I think like a guy like LaCastro would be good.
See, that's why I always appreciated players like Tyler Wade or like Brett Gardner more than some people.
It just sucks because that bat, Florial is such a good defender, but his bat really bad too. He still strikes out. That was his downfall 2 years ago with the Yankees. 3 years ago, he strikes out a lot. And that's still true. So that's why I'm hoping to get Bader back in time, man. I heard he's gonna come back in the next week or so.
Oh well, yeah. I completely forgot about Bader. So he'll be playing center.
Judge and right, and then you're gonna have either Hicks or Oswaldo maybe in left. No, Cabrera really hasn't played left yet, right?
I don't know what Oswaldo's gonna look like in left. He's played a really good right. I mean, you can probably stick Bader in left. He's played a little bit of left. He's a traditional center fielder, but it's not like
I still think Cabrera makes the team when he's starting shortstop. And Donaldson's the odd man out right now, man. He really has been brutal lately. He's swinging over that late kick timing of his right now is so off, bro. It's not even close. He's swinging over the top of every slider and every knuckle curve and changeup. He's just flailing over it. I don't know, man. It's not good right now. He's the odd man out. If you ask me right now, who's out?
Overall, Donaldson. Donaldson last year, he looked like, he wasn't at his peak. He wasn't in his prime anymore, but he didn't look this bad. Yeah. He looks really bad now. Other than the 1 or 2 home runs he hits that, Josh Donaldson and his defense, which can really be replaced by IKF and DJ, you and Ray and everybody else is not wrong saying he's kind of useless right now and being the young man.
Yeah, he really is. So,
but again, speaking of IKF, yesterday, great. He played great in both games of the doubleheader. Yep. Another guy who played great yesterday, Garrett Cole, 14 strikeout performance.
Filthy, dude. That besides that hanging slider to Correa, everything else was really good.
Which, again, you hate to say it because he's our ace, but he's always bound to give up at least 1 home run.
The guy's given up home runs since he came into the league with Pittsburgh. That's what he does.
But the good thing about what his stuff is, he'll give up a home run, but he doesn't let anybody get on base. It's not a 3-run shot. It's not a 2-run shot. It's usually solo shots, and he doesn't get small balled all the time. There's going to be a team like Houston that just excels at it, that, can nickel and dime him. But most of the time, Garrett Cole is not going to be a guy that gets shellacked and gives up 10 hits in 4 innings.
Yeah. But big start though. Big. His last 5 starts before that were still pretty good. So he's been pitching much better as of late. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely back to being like.
Dude, the guy recorded 20 outs last night, and 14 of them were on strikeouts.
Oh, just
right. He went 6 2/3 last night, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So 6 2/3. So that's
you kind of needed that after game 1. It went long. You can't use every.
And Boone said that he wasn't gonna let him go back out for the 7th inning, but Cole said he wanted to, and he already was at 105 pitches. And he struck out the next 2, and he got 13 pitches to get those 2 out, and then they pulled him.
Yeah, and his last 6 starts, he's got a 2.03 ERA. He's given up 3 home runs, struck out 48.
Struck out 40. The guy's averaging 8 Ks a game. Dude, he's really good, man. I know he gets a lot of flack, but he gets a lot of flack because of the contract that he got. That's what happens when you get a big deal. You don't produce, everyone knocks you. So
he also became the poster child of the foreign substance stuff, and a lot of people discredit what he did because of the foreign substance stuff. But he's still a very good pitcher. Maybe not front runner for Cy Young because at the beginning of the year, he was the odds-on favorite to win Cy Young. But nobody thought Shane McClanahan would come out and look like the best pitcher in the American League, or Justin Verlander at 40 off Tommy John surgery would turn into what he was. So
yep.
He's still a fantastic pitcher. Anybody giving him too much flack, I think, is just on the Yankees hating bandwagon or just didn't like him.
Of course.
But he's been fantastic. Again,
Meanwhile, anybody that talks shit would take him on their team tomorrow. So enough of the bullshit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anybody, Garrett Cole is the ace of probably 25 rosters.
Yeah, he's not the ace of the Mets. He's not. He might not even be the ace of the Braves, right? He might not be the ace of one of the teams out with either Milwaukee or Padres, whatever those teams that have good started pitchers. I mean, he's not the ace in Houston. So I mean, you can probably find 5 to 7 teams that he won't be the ace of.
No, for sure. But Garrett Cole, fantastic performance last night. I thought, the narrative around Cole is if the smallest thing is off, he's gonna get blown up. And
he needs to get over that shit, man. That's enough of that. Like, oh my God, whatever. Like, oh, we started half an hour late, or this or that. Like, come on, man. Like, take the ball and go and throw in the ball and dominate. Like, come on, enough with the excuses already.
Well, he proved that yesterday. He proved he can do that yesterday. Game starts 30 minutes late. Guys are fatigued because they just played 12 innings. So, went out 6 2/3. Only gave up the blast to Correa. There's really not much more you could ask of him. I expected him to go about 7, just because the bullpen got cooked in that first game. But other than that, great performance. Cole back to looking like the ace. It's fantastic. We're getting Nestor back. I wonder when they're going to slot him in at this point, when they're thinking of bringing him out. When they're going to bring Cortez back, because he's been reinstated, but I don't know when they're going to slot him in for the start.
He's starting tonight.
Is he starting tonight?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, there we go. All right. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, Bob. He's coming right back out to the fire, kid. He's starting tonight.
All right,
That's why I said to you, like, I'm like, sorry, what'd you say? Like, I thought that's what you said, but I thought you knew he was starting. Yeah, he's starting tonight.
Yeah, I only saw the lineups and I saw he was reinstated. I didn't know that he was.
He's good to go. Like I said, man, I don't think there's a pretty quick recovery from a groin injury, right? Like I told you, like Ray even said, I believe that I think this was more of giving him a 2-week rest, skip 2 starts. Let's take 14 innings out of his way and get him back in there before the playoffs. That's what I think, honestly, they did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we got Cortez against former Yankee Sonny Gray, who has looked pretty good since getting out of pinstripe. Sonny Gray.
Yeah, listen, some guys can't handle the New York pressure. He's clearly one of them.
You want to talk about someone else? Joey Gallo looked like he's back in LA. Joey Gallo looks like the player that the Yankees thought.
Now he changed his tune the other day. See what he said? Like he hopes they go to the World Series, and he's like taking back some statements. I guess he must have said out loud. I guess.
Yeah. So. Gallo looks good. Other than that,
screw Gallo.
No. Joe's still a Gallo fan,
I know.
Joe's still waving the Gallo flag, saying he's back. But other than that, I'm looking forward to this series this weekend against Tampa. And I know going back a week down in the dumps, I'm like, yeah, we're probably going to lose these couple of games against Tampa. I think we have a pretty good shot at taking 2 out of the 3 against Tampa.
And this is at home, right? Yeah. And, real quick, just to backtrack, we did take a guess on what we were going to go on that 10-game road trip. I said I would be okay with 5-5. We actually went 4-6. Just to recap last week, we said we were going to go on that 10-game stretch.
Right.
It was 4-6 we went.
Was it 4-6? Oh yeah, it was, because we won. We
won the
last one. 2 against Oakland, 1 against LA,
1
and 1 against
Angels, and 1 against Tampa Sunday night.
Okay.
Yep, 4-6. And I said I'd be happy with a 6-4, and I'd be ecstatic with 7-3. We went the opposite. We went 4-6. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go back to our schedule program. I just had to let you know that I did remember that recap for what we thought we were going to go on that 10-game stretch.
Yeah, and those LA games were just they were frustrating. Again, going back
trap. They're trap games, like they call them in sports, right? Trap games. Yeah. Teams that should dominate a team going into their territory. We should still win the series and win the game, and we don't. And that's what happens, right?
The ultimate trap team in baseball right now is Philadelphia, because they are flying under the radar in the 2-man race in the NL East.
Yeah, you're a big Philly guy.
I look at the roster and I'm like, man, this team is good. You got one of the best catchers in baseball in JT Realmuto. You got one of the best players overall in baseball in Bryce Harper. You got Nick Castellanos, who's having a down year, but You know, the Queen just died, so he's bound to hit a home run tonight.
yeah, right.
Reese Hoskins, like top to bottom, it's just a really good team. I think the only thing that has stopped them from succeeding over the last few years has been the bullpen. They
And their
bolstered that
defense
with. It's really not that bad. It's not horrendous.
Nah, their defense is one of the worst in the league. I guarantee if you look up Philly's metrics defensively, they're in the bottom 5 of the league.
Well, I'll look that up right now. But I think top to bottom, I think that team offensively is one of the stronger teams in baseball, and they're going under the radar for the sheer fact that it's not Atlanta and the Mets. That's a 2-man race out there in the East.
The Atlanta Braves have by far the best lineup in baseball. It's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, they're still playing Ozuna, so I don't know.
I know, but dude, 1-9, regardless of Ozuna and what he does. When you look at that lineup, Swanson, Rosario, Acuna, Albies, D'Arnaud. Dude, it's just they're so good. They're so good offensively. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Austin Riley, like, come on, dude. Like, they're filthy, dude. The Braves are unbelievable offensively. Best in the league. They're winning baseball games for like the last 80 games at like a 70% record. Like, they're winning 70% of the games, for like the last like 75 games.
All right. I guess I'll go by defensive efficiency. We're talking about Philly. Defensive efficiency for Philly, they're about a middle of the pack team. They're not nothing crazy. They're a bottom 10 team, I would say.
All right, bottom 10. That's pretty bad, man. So imagine if they corrected that and then had a better bullpen, they'd be great, but they don't.
Yeah, I think. But like I said, I think they're just a team that you could definitely lose 2 out of 3 in a wild card series too. Like, I feel like when I think of a trap team, I think Philly, because you know what you're getting out of Seattle at this point. You know you're going to get good pitching. You know you're going to get solid hitting. You know you're going to get 3-4 runs, and you're going to win because your pitching is so well. With Philly, you don't really know what you're walking into. You could blow them up in the first inning, or you can get shut out. And I think that's what makes them the trap team in the MLB right now. But either way, that's just it's getting fun. You could see the playoff hype building for the league right now.
25 games left, bro. I can't wait.
25 games left. Races are really heating up. Again, we just talked about the NL East, the AL East. The AL Central is close, even though I think we've all agreed that whoever makes it out of the Central is just a first round exit at this point.
Yeah, right. Because then we get to play the winner of that division. They play the wild card, and we play the winner of that. So we play Minnesota. We're 114-39 against them. The last 153 games.
Minnesota is 2 games out from Cleveland right now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I was just saying, if they have to make it over Cleveland, we play them, and if they beat the other wild card teams. So I'm pretty confident to go against Minnesota.
Yeah,
even against Cleveland. Think Cleveland scares me? No way.
No, Cleveland. Yeah. Like I say, either one of the teams that make it out of the Central is probably going to get beaten pretty soundly when it comes to the wild card. Other than that, I mean, every other division looks pretty locked up right now. St. Louis.
AL. Go ahead. Sorry.
St. Louis is taking over the Central right now. They have a 8.5 game lead over Milwaukee. Milwaukee's making a push though. They're definitely trying to make it in.
At one point, Milwaukee had a 3-game lead on them. At one point, it was back and forth, and Milwaukee took a 3-game lead. Now they're toast.
Yeah, now they're 8.5 back.
Sick.
But I feel like St. Louis has got it locked up. We're still waiting on Pujols to hit 700.
What is he at?
He's 5 away. He's at 695 with 25 games left.
Well, he's hitting a lot more home runs than I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has it in him though to get the 700 though. I think we talked about that. I think I told you he wouldn't make it, right?
Yeah, you said you were pretty confident that he wouldn't make it for this because he only had like 13 in the first 80 games.
Yeah, but now they got the division locked up, so he might actually see some more playing time now, or steady playing time. So maybe they try to get him to get there,
Yeah, and then the Dodgers, far and away the best team in the West. San Diego is still just property of the Dodgers. Whenever they meet, the Dodgers just slap them around.
Dude, San Diego is so frustrating. They got such a good team. They pick up Soto and they've done nothing, right?
They've been a pretty mid team since the trade deadline. They haven't done anything too special. And that is you're right. It's a very frustrating team to watch because of all the potential.
Because you look at the
they have.
roster, even before Soto, you're like, all right, Machado.
Well, Tatis was out the whole year, and then he got suspended.
Yeah. But I'm saying even before that, like you look at this upcoming year. If Tatis was healthy, you have Tatis, Machado. You got I forgot the other guy's name, but they got Cronenworth. They got a good team, dude. They just can't. I don't know what, and they got good pitchers.
Well, if you're talking going into the season, they had Luke Voigt at the time too.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. What do we got up next for us? Our squad.
For us, we do have Tampa, and then we have Boston. Right. Of course, after the game tonight against Minnesota, we got 3 against Tampa, 2 against Boston, then 2 against Milwaukee.
All right, and then what do we?
3 against Milwaukee. Sorry.
Okay, what's next on our topic list?
Oh,
I said we've been bouncing around, even though it's still been a really good show.
Yeah, topic wise, I mean, we pretty much we've gone through everything pretty quick. Everything on the topic list that I had. Cole's 14K. We talked about Judge and the Maris record. IKF at third. Waldo and fantastic in game 1. If you guys are just tuning in, we talked about all this. This is going to be up on YouTube, Facebook, everything. If you want to rewatch the episode, the 4-game streak that we're on right now, and then the 5-game lead with the Rays series over the weekend. I guess we could dive in a little bit more to that Rays series coming up. I
think. Listen, if we get swept at home, man, it's back down to a 2-game series. So you got to take care of business at home. You're playing good baseball right now. Let's win tonight, right? Let's take a big game tonight against Minnesota, and then Friday is it this Friday we play Tampa or no?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tampa.
Yeah, so like let's handle business tonight against Minnesota, 4-game sweep, and then tomorrow let's take care of Tampa at home. Like let's go on a little 5-game win streak heading into the series. I think it would be big.
Oh yeah, it would be massive if we could pick up that momentum, especially coming off the win at Tampa to start the streak. I feel like if we can hold a 5 to 7 game lead by the time we get to, but I'd say by the time we finish our final Boston series, which is the 25th, it's a 4-game series at home. I think if we have a 5 to 7 game lead there, it's locked up.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because Tampa would have to just go on I don't think Tampa can lose another series.
Yeah.
Unless we collapse, unless we somehow get swept by Milwaukee, split against Pittsburgh, and then split against Texas.
Yeah, I doubt that will happen. So,
yeah, the teams that we have looking ahead of us, the real contenders are pretty much all division rivals. Tampa, Toronto, and Baltimore, which again could just be a trap series, just because. But I mean, that's the second to last series. We should probably have a playoff spot locked in by the time we play Baltimore for the final time.
Listen, we're not missing the playoffs. Everyone needs to chill out. We're either winning the division or we're not, but most likely we are. So that first round bye is going to be sweet. Sorry to all you guys who want to see us collapse, because that's what you like to do. You like to see it's not happening. It's not 14 games anymore. It's only 5, but we'll win the division by at least 5 games and we'll be all right.
Yeah, for sure. Tommy, you said you did need to head out at around 6:45, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna sign off, guys. I do apologize. The next week I'll be good, and Chris is gonna hit you with his amazing top 10. I know it's gonna be really good. I have a feeling it's gonna be good. I bet you I can give you. I will just.
All right, yeah. Before you head out, give me who you think is on my top 10.
Okay, I'm gonna give you starting from the top. Cole, Judge is gonna be 1.
Yes.
I think Garrett Cole should be 2.
Yeah.
IKF might be 3, actually.
He's on the list, but he's not 3.
Not 3, okay. I think you might even put Cabrera on that list, even though he's been struggling a little bit. Like I said, this is another default list, though. I don't think we had 10 guys, right? Marinaccio could be on the list. Marinaccio, Cole, Judge, IKF. I don't know, man. I really don't know the rest, man. But I know you're gonna have a good one. But I know I got the top 2 right, so I feel good about myself.
No, absolutely.
Well, do me a favor, man. In the group chat, Bob, throw up a picture of your top 10. I want to see what it looks like.
I got you. All
guys,
right.
thank you all for watching episode 13. I gotta sign off. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you once again. I'll talk to you guys later. Go Yanks.
And there goes Tommy. Yeah, so it's just gonna be me for the last 10 minutes, everybody. We're just gonna chill. I'm gonna bring you guys my top 10. And so we're just gonna go right into it. Number 10 is Greg Weissert. He's played really well. We talked about him earlier in the show. Over the last couple of games, he's really showed that he is an MLB level pitcher. He was great in the minors, which everybody knew going into it. But I think it's been really, really fun to see a young guy who's ready for MLB action. He's 27. I know he said 24, 25. He's 27. He's a little older than I thought. Over the last 2 games, I thought he played well. The fifth against Minnesota, and then yesterday in game 1, where he got the finish and he got the win, putting in a couple. I think Greg Weissert, again, not a lot of guys to choose from in the last few days, but Weissert, I think, is going to be a really good piece to close out the season, go down this final stretch, just because the arms, we're just struggling. Injuries have started to mount, and I think he's been a really solid arm that we could rely on somewhat going down this final stretch. Number 9, we do got Ron Marinaccio. He's not top 2. He's not top 3. Marinaccio has shown a little bit of cracks. He's still great, but when he's been coming in these later innings, he's been allowing those runs to score from second. And maybe extra innings just isn't for him. I would say maybe he's a good 8th inning guy, a good 7th inning guy, a good someone that could really just. But with when there's traffic, when there's ducks on the pond, he's shown some struggles recently. But other than that, again, they're unearned runs, which every time I talk about Marinaccio, I talk about he's got a sub-1 ERA. He's got like a sub-1 ERA in the last 4 or 5 months. It's just the runs from second are coming in later innings, which are unearned. But ducks on the pond, I can't really trust Marinaccio right now, but he's still been absolutely great for us over the last couple of games, couple of months even. Number 8, I do have Frankie Montas. Frankie Montas, bit of a slow start in his first 3. He looked a little rattled, but I think he played really well. The Angels game, you could say the Angels game was kind of on him. I would lean a little bit more towards the defense, and then the offense just absolutely just not showing up and shitting the bed. But he played really well against Tampa, only allowing the 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, and then the game against the Mets, where he allowed the 2 runs and over 5 2/3. I think Montas has turned it around. I think he's going to be looking really good come playoff time. I think when you join the Yankees, there is that gelling period where, man, the lights are bright. Everybody's watching. Everybody's talking about me. I need to perform. And then sometimes you just can't. Sometimes there's that block. And I think he's going to get past that block going by what we saw in his last start against Tampa. Playing Tampa again, I think it's a big confidence boost. So you don't have to see a new team. You get to see the same team twice, a team you just beat, a team that you did well against. So I think Frankie Montas, number 8, he's played really, really well. Number 7, I do have IKF. This is more or less based on last night because he's just been frustrating to watch at shortstop. He plays third base, and we haven't lost since. IKF really just showed what he had last night, and I think you kind of need to put some respect on the fact that maybe he was just playing out of position. Maybe he's not a traditional shortstop. And at third base, I get you have Donaldson, you have DJ LeMahieu. But maybe IKF could be the option at third base. He looked a lot more confident at the plate. He had the grand slam. He had the big hit in the 12th, the grounder right up the middle, which I called, by the way. But yeah, I think IKF right now, if Donaldson's going to be out long-term, on paternity, I think IKF could be the option at third, especially with DJ LeMahieu out with the toe injury as well. So IKF at third, maybe don't hit him clean up. like we are tonight. That's kind of scary. It's kind of pleased. But yeah, give me IKF. Next up, we got number 6. We got Oswaldo Cabrera. Waldo, I think the bat hasn't been there. I will be the first to say that the bat just hasn't been there quite yet. But Waldo is really, really good defensively. No matter where you put him, he's been saving runs defense. In like the first 10, 15 games that he's played in right, he's a top 10 defender by most metrics. Defensive runs saved. Cabrera has been really, really good for us, and I think he's pretty much locked up a playoff spot. He's the little spark plug that this team kind of needs because this team just at some points just looks deflated, and you could see that with Donaldson sometimes. You could see that with IKF sometimes, with Hicks, especially when Gallo was on the team. You saw it with him, but I think Oswaldo Cabrera is a really, really fun player to watch, and I am very excited to see what he has to show for us in the postseason. Number 5, I got Johnny Lasagna. He looks back. Jonathan Loaizaga looks back. I think he's going to be if not the closer, I think he's going to be the 8th inning guy, the setup guy for Clay Holmes. He looks like the guy that we all expected him to be at the beginning of the season, when we all expected him to take that next step. He started off really slow, but recently, over the last few games, he's been really, really solid. I always liked his stuff. He's got good speed, and he's actually got some good break on his slider. And he gets out of jams. You know, he did get hit a couple of times yesterday, you know, allowed the 2 hits. But I really like what I'm seeing out of Jonathan Loaizaga. Over his last 7 games, he hasn't allowed a run. Only 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 1 walk. There's really not much more you could ask out of a setup guy. But yeah, I think Jonathan Loaizaga has earned his spot in the top 10 right now. And again, I wouldn't be opposed to him being the setup guy for Holmes, if not the outright closer, if you don't still fully trust Holmes. But you know, Holmes did pretty well yesterday. Number 4, I got Domingo Herman. Now, Domingo, he struggled in his last start, but not to the extent that a lot of people... I saw a lot of people immediately be like, oh, he's cooked again after his last start, giving up 7 hits and 3 runs. I'm like, no, he's fine. In game 1, he's fine. And then even in the game against Tampa, only had 2 of the 3 were earned. I think Domingo Herman is still the biggest surprise coming out of the rotation this year. Well, I guess other than Nestor. Nestor is also a pretty big was the big surprise. No one expected what he was going to do. But I think Domingo is the guy that, you know, when it comes to the postseason, I think he's the perfect long relief guy. Unless you feel like throwing Tyon in the bullpen, but I don't think they will. I think Domingo is going to be the guy coming out of the pen for them when Severino comes back, or Clark Schmidt. But I think Herman has played a little bit better than Clark Schmidt, honestly. But yeah, Herman, I think, has really just showed his stuff. Hasn't allowed more than 3 runs since his debut against Houston, coming off of the All-Star break. So it was just a bad position for him to return. Since then, he's been outstanding. There's really not much more you could ask for him other than, you know, maybe not hit his wife at home. Other than that, on the field, he's been really good. Again, Tommy brought it up last week. It's you don't want to root for him, but because he's on the team, you kind of have to. But listen, I'll give it what it is. I think he's going to be really, really solid for us come postseason time. Where am I? Number 3? Number 2. Right? Oh my God, I've lost track of myself. Excuse me. Oh yeah, number 2, Garrett Cole. Do I really need to explain why? He played outstanding yesterday. but I'll go into it a little bit more. He's back to being the ace. Some ignorant people over the season were like, "Oh, is he really the ace? Nestor's going crazy right now. Jameson, Tyon. Oh, we gotta re-sign Tyon." I'm looking right at you, Joe. Garrett Cole is the ace of this team, and he showed it last night. 14 Ks, all the bullshit you want to throw at him about sticky stuff, and it doesn't matter. He's still Garrett Cole. He's still really, really good on the mound. I think the biggest fault for him, along with a couple of other pitchers in this rotation, it's just been lack of run support. His record does not dictate how good he's been this year. There's a game once a month where he gets wrecked. Which August 3rd, he got shellacked against, I believe it was Minnesota. It was Seattle. I forget. It was a game against Minnesota. Yeah, he went fucking 2 1/3 and got just drilled. But I think Garrett Cole still the best player on this team. Pitching wise, he's the only one I could trust right now. To give me a good 7 innings and give me 8 strikeouts, maybe a run. But he was the perfect guy to come in yesterday after burning the bullpen, because he can give you 6 to 7 innings consistently. And I think that is really valuable and irreplaceable when you look at the rest of the rotation, because there's really there's nobody else on this rotation that you could be like, oh, this guy's gonna give me 7 good innings. Nestor's good for maybe 5, maybe 6 on a really, really good day. Same with Tyon. Tyon religiously just can't go past 6 innings. Who knows what Severino is going to look like upon return? Is he going to be that guy? Is he going to be the number 2? And then you got Frankie Montas, who is on this list. He played well, but I think he's still the 4th option on this team right now, behind Nestor, Severino, and Cole. But Cole definitely number 1 when it comes to the rotation, but number 1 on the team. Surprising nobody, really. Aaron Judge. He's the best player in baseball right now. He's the MVP. He's been, before yesterday, he was the only player worth watching on this team. And, he's him. He's the best. He's so good. And, the fact that he's not under contract long-term for the Yankees always just burns me, but that is the top 10 for this week. A little bit scattered because I kind of makeshifted it because my phone wasn't working. I was trying to go off memory and then my phone booted up again. But I think this team is really, really good. And I think we're starting to go back into form. You could call we slumped. We slumped in August. Absolutely. Worst month since September of 91 was August 2022. But looking forward, I think this team is going to lock up the division. This team is going to make a run. And if we can get our guys healthy, if we can get Severino back, if we can get Rizzo back, if we can get DJ LeMahieu back, Harrison Bader back, fully healthy, top to bottom, there's not a lot of teams that can compete. And I think that is where I will leave off for today. This has been Yank This, episode 13 here at Fired Up Sports. For Tommy and for me and for Joe, Jeff, everybody at Fired Up Sports, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week to talk about more Yankees baseball, hopefully as positive as it was this week. We had a lot of good things happen in the last few days. 4-game win streak, walk-off, stellar pitching performance by Cole. Hopefully we can keep that same energy next week, especially with all the division games coming, because we got Tampa for 3, Boston for 2, and then Milwaukee for 3. So yeah, that has been us at Fired Up Sports. Thank you. We will see you next week. Have a good one, guys.